Classroom and different tips and tricks to keep your classroom organized to help you be more effective during Panther online learning. I'm going to share all these tips and tricks that I have used myself in my class that have helped me keep a simple and organized classroom. I want you to keep in mind that any of the things that you learned today, you need to apply or use and adapt based on the needs of your students and yourself as a teacher. This website has the different tools and resources that I'm going to be sharing with you. If there's anything that you think you missed or that you've forgotten, you don't want to watch the whole video again, everything is listed on here. I scroll down to about middle way through the page right here, and I have right here a Google Classroom that you can feel free to join so that you follow along with the different tips I give you. The code for our Speed PD today is right here. Now, everything on this Google Classroom is going to have the things that I share with you, such as the different folders, the different components of Google Classroom that I have helped and have helped me in my classroom to be a little bit more organized and keep things that go together and just be more effective with the way I use things. We're going to get started in this Getting Started tab. If you click any of these buttons, it will take you straight to the Google links. Speed PD number 2, Google Classroom Tips and Tricks. You are going to help me in joining our classroom today at the very end, or you can choose to follow along with me. I teach 5th grade writing and math with my team. Now, just because I teach 5th grade and my classroom is organized in this way, keep in mind that these are things that are helpful for all grade levels, all the way from kindergarten through 12th grade. This Google presentation right here is made with Google Slides and kind of walks you through a couple of these different things that I have used in the past. Okay, so 3 things or 4 I want to share with you is that anything that you learned today, just like everything, and you know this, you've known it for years, adapt it to your classroom based on your students' needs and your own needs. Some of the things that I say may not be helpful for your grade level or for your subject area, content area you teach, but some of them are so general that they can be used by anybody. Keeping an organized Google Classroom will help you prevent digital chaos. In a way, it helps you with your digital classroom management. If you know and have a purpose for every single thing in your Google Classroom, you can save up time because you know exactly where it is and where the kids need to do it. Purpose. Setting procedures and routines in the structure of your Google Classroom can save you time. That means work smarter, not harder. If you share your Google Classroom and colleagues, make sure that other people that you share your classroom with know your expectations. If you expect to only have a certain number of folders or topics, but another teacher that works with you doesn't know and something gets messed up, it ends up being your bad. So if you work with a group of teachers, make sure that all of you are on the same page of how things are ran. All right, so this is what it looks like on Google Classroom when you first enter it. The very top is the header. This is going to display your classroom name. In the section right here, call the section, you are going to have your name if you choose to do so. Or if you have a section number, I guess this is where it would go as well. You can include your name on the title section. That way your students can easily find your class. And you can choose to generate a Google Meet link automatically. The students always click and never changes. This that we're seeing right now is the stream in your Google Classroom. It is great for announcement. So think about your social media newsfeed. Like wherever you see all the updates from other people is where you would see their posts. This is what the stream is the equivalent of for your Google Classroom. Right here, students can see on the left side, on one of the sides on the left, they can see what type of assignments are. So this is a helpful tip for you as a teacher, is to put a due date on your assignments. That way kids can see whenever they're due. More than one class. If you don't only have your Google Classroom grade level classroom, you manage different classes for different periods for different students, then I would suggest that you color code your classes. Meaning, pick a theme that has a different color that matches whatever you want it to match, and this will help you to stay organized because you can see your different classes displayed by color. In this section where your class can communicate with others, you can choose to use it one of two ways. You can choose for the teacher to be the only to post different announcements, or you can choose for both the teacher and the students to be able to post announcements. I prefer for the teacher or teachers to be the only ones to post on this stream section. Why? Because sometimes this area, especially in elementary, gets a little bit out of control, and you have a never ending amount of posts made by students with silly things, or simply it is something short and you have a million notifications on your email. Of course, you can turn those off, but that just creates a chaotic look in your stream, and it does not serve a purpose other than playing. So, I feel like we should be intentional with this section. You can choose to do either way, whatever fits best. If you have older students, perhaps they do use it accurately and they use it to ask questions or to interact with the people in their class. Something else that you can choose to edit is every time an assignment is posted or edited on Google Classroom, it automatically lets every single person know. So all of the teachers, students, and parents that are part of your classroom, every time you post something, which you will be doing a lot of, everybody gets a notification saying, Miss Ingram has posted an assignment due on August 25th. Miss Ingram has edited an assignment due on August 25th. A way to edit this, and I'll go back and show you, is to go to this little gear at the top of your Google Classroom, and you have the option to choose what is displayed on your stream. I'm going to go and jump to Google Classroom and show you this live. I'm going to post this for all of you guys. Good morning, class. It's going to be a good day. So this is a post, and this is what it will look like. It even shows a timestamp of when I made it, 10:35 p.m. I know, guys, it's a little late here, in the past or the future, I guess. And then anybody in the class still has accessibility to posting or commenting underneath this. The students, teachers, other teachers can comment on this. Have not been disabled from commenting on posts. They just cannot make the main post themselves. To edit how these sections are managed, you can go to this gear right here in the top right of the menu, close to your picture, into those little Google App buttons. And you can at any time edit the name of your class, add a class description, add the section where the room is, in this case is virtual, and subject. Now, in the general section is where you can edit what I was showing you in the stream section. That only teachers can post their comments, students can be the only ones that comment, or students can post and comment. And right here I have, I guess you would pick the students can only comment. And that would be by default what makes the teacher be the one that posts. And show condensed notifications, show attachments and details. This is all pertaining classwork on the stream. You have also options for grading and more. Get to know your settings section, your class settings. All right, creating topics. This is probably my second biggest takeaway or information to share with you. I am big on organization, like in real life, and I want to portray and translate that digitally. I believe that there's a purpose and a category or a way to organize things, even in our classrooms, in our digital classrooms. A great way that my team and I found out at the end of NTI to organize our classrooms was by doing everything by week. I'm going to show you a couple of pictures, and again, every classroom is different. All of our grade levels are different, so we may all have different needs that work for some of us that don't work for others. So let me talk to you about the topics by week for Panther Online Learning. So to create a topic under the Classwork tab in Google Classroom, you're going to click on Create, and you're going to go to Topic. And on this, you will create and name as many topic sections as you want. My team and I have created 9 weeks, folders, or topics, and each one of them is a category that obviously covers a week's worth of work. Last year, we had different subjects. A topic creates a section or a category in your classwork section, and you can think about it as a folder in your Google Drive or in your computer. It is a broad category where you share your assignments with You can choose to have a one-stop place for classroom and resources, things that your kids need to use every day, common websites, or wherever you post your forms, your daily forms or your weekly forms, or however you do it. If you have a website, that would be the place to have it. Different ways to organize your classroom by topic. You can do so weekly by subjects or types of materials, or a combination of 2 or 3 of these. It all depends on your preferences and what your students need. If you teach single or multiple content areas, organizing your topics weekly would mean there are 9 topics or categories where students can go to check assignments. They can always come back and look at it this way when absent or if they fall behind. You can have a general section for daily resources. Let me show you a little close-up. So, for example, you can have a weekly folder where all the different students' work is listed by date. For example, for this coming school year, my 5th grade team and I will have a shared Google Classroom. So for week 1, for the first day of school, we have 3 assignments that we will have posted on Google Classroom that students have to complete. They're showing kind of gray and off gray because they have been scheduled for August 25th. That way, if students access Google Classroom before school starts, they won't be able to see or work on these ahead of time. Okay, so we specifically list the date at the beginning of the assignment name, 8/25, introductions. That way, whenever 4 days of school go by, if we have 10 or 12 assignments in here, they're all by date. And students know that they can check those in that way and know what is due and when it's due. Again, creating a due date for your assignments is helpful because when they first log into their stream, they can know what is due and when it's due and what they need to work on in priority order. I have, and my team has, Google Classrooms. Right here in this section is where we display our homeroom classroom, which takes students automatically to all of our classrooms. Our classroom also has a link to Google Meet right here at the top. We can use the Google Calendar if we choose to, in the class drive folder where we can drop any documents that we need. And again, right here, this top section is just kind of common announcements or daily announcements that our students need to see. All assignments and all lessons are included either in our classroom, where we have all of them listed in our virtual classroom, or they are found right here for them to complete. If you teach multiple content areas, you can separate your Google Classroom by subjects. This can be helpful for you, but in a way you have to keep in mind that multiple subjects means that there'll be a lot of assignments under that section. Let me show you what I'm talking about. This is my homeroom class from NTI. At the very beginning of NTI, our team thought it was a good idea for each one of us to have a topic. At the end of NTI, we ended up noticing, phew, that's a lot of topics. We had a daily news section, a talent show section, a math, a reading, a writing, a social studies, a counseling section, a special section, which we also have art, music, PE, STEM, library, reading, RTL, and we had a folder for NTI information. You can understand how, for parents and students, this was a little bit of an overwhelming classroom. Students could not find some assignments because even inside of a topic by subject, let's say under writing, even if I had assignments by date, there was a long list of assignments because we had gone through multiple weeks of NTI. So all of those were all listed under one section, and it made it hard for students to keep up and see what they had done or they had not done. This way of organizing your classroom may be helpful for you if you find an alternative way of posting within each subject. If you teach lower grade levels, that can be helpful for you if you only post a certain number of assignments every time. I know that there are many of us in here that could think of solutions. If you have any, please feel free to comment in the comment section and tell us how would subjects be helpful. This last and third types of materials topics option can be helpful if you teach a single content area. You can have topics for daily announcements, lessons, assignments, assessments, and anything else you can think of. This combined with subjects or this combined with weekly can be very helpful. Or all on its own. Let me show you what I'm talking about. Types of materials. This classroom would look something like this. You can have displayed a section for announcements where you share with students like a question of the day, the question of the week, a quote, whatever it is you do. You put it right here. You have daily materials where you can display different links that are helpful for your students. You can have a section for all of your lessons to be in, your Google virtual classrooms to be in, and any assessments. Okay, so we are back in our class. Right now, it is August 13th. I am going to schedule a post, and this is another tip for you to use on Google Classroom. I'm going to post a comment for you to respond to. And it's not going to come out until August 18 when we have this PD. To schedule a post on your stream, you can see this arrow right here next to the post button. And I'm going to click on schedule. I'm going to say Tuesday the 18th. And this is going to be posted around 1 o'clock. You, the students, do not have this insight for you yet, but I do as a teacher. Inside of classwork, you will find that this classroom has been organized weekly, and at the top, there's a section for announcements, classrooms, and resources. I chose to put on here a direct link to our website, which automatically opens it up to you. If you have any questions, at the very bottom, fill in this form and I will get back to you. If not, fill it in on the Google Meet comment section. Remember, on your Google Classroom, you can add other teachers and invite them to be a part of your classroom. You can add students and their parents. Grades will be displayed in a very unique way. Grades on Google Classroom will be displayed by your student's name, and that will be their first name or their last name, and also by date. So keep this in mind if you teach different subjects. All of your grades will be only posted in the order of the date they were made or when they were due. And the only way to see them currently by in August of 2020 is by your student's last or first name. So if you're using a combined Google Classroom, the only way to see your grades is by the date it is posted. I hope these tips and tricks have been helpful for you. If you have any questions that you want to know how to do on Google Classroom, let me know. At this time, please open up your Google Classroom and open this one and think about the purpose that your classroom serves. Do students know where to find your assignments and your lessons? Do you have a purpose for all of the things to happen in order and avoid chaos, digital chaos? Please play with your settings section, become familiar with it as it has all the information you need to be adapted to your needs.